Sorry, I've just been going through muting everybody because we can hear everything. And it gets a bit, oh. Hey, Paula, good to see you. She's not listening to me. Hey, Paula, good to see you. Okay, we'll just give people just another minute and then we'll launch straight in because we've quite a lot to get through today. I hope everybody's here for Burnley Linked. There's nobody here for cake making or flower arranging or anything like that, are there?
No.
No, that's all right then. Just to let you all know, we do record these, so if you don't want your beautiful faces seen on YouTube, you're more than welcome to switch off your cameras. But we do like to see your lovely faces, so if you can do, please do leave your cameras on. How are we this morning? We're a bit quiet. Got lots of nods and lots of smiles. Nobody's going to talk to me today, are they? Mandy, you'll talk to me, won't you? Naveed will talk to me.
I don't know what day it is, Tracy. I'm kind of confused.
I'm on Wednesday.
It feels like a Saturday, but I'm in work, so it mustn't be.
I never know what day it is, Tracy, so there's no hope for me.
Well, I'm with you, Mandy.
Women of a certain age, we never know where we are or what we're doing, but we're very determined about it and really confident in what we do. Okay, I think we'll start because we've quite a bit to get through today. So if you wouldn't mind muting yourself until you speak, if you've got some background noise, it kind of comes through. Otherwise, I'll mute you. Paula, I think that's you.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, is there somebody talking in background?
Yeah.
I've been shut up now because I've heard them.
They're not in the same room. They're just loud.
Fab, thank you very much. So welcome everybody. Thank you for coming along to Burnley Linked on this stormy Thursday morning. I've loved the thunder and lightning this morning, as you probably would expect me to do. I know there's some people that aren't quite chuffed with it, but I just think it's the atmosphere and the universe telling us that that it's having a bit of a do today. So we've got brilliant sunshine here in Burnley, so I'm not sure where you all are, but it's lovely just at the moment. So welcome everyone to Burnley Linked, and we've got some new people today. So if you wouldn't mind, if you do speak, please would you introduce yourselves and say where you're from, just so everybody knows. She says, not having introduced herself at all. I'm Tracy Noon. I'm the operations manager here at Burnley Pendle and Rosendale Council for Voluntary Service. It's a very relaxed meeting, is this. We go with the flow, don't we, guys? So I will introduce our first speaker, and we have got 3 of you today. So please do keep to your time. If you don't, I'm going to hook you off. So Lisa, you're our first speaker. So talk to us about your vision for volunteering. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm Lisa Ross. I work for LA CVS, which is Lancashire Associations of CVSs. I've got a few bits and pieces to talk to you about today. So the first thing is next week is Volunteers Week. I've been working with Caroline from BPR CVS, and we have a couple of events on. On the 3rd of June, we've got a volunteers fair at Colne Youth Action Group in Pendle, 1 till 4. We've got about 20 organisations who are going to be there. So if you have anyone who is looking to volunteer, it's a prime place for them to be. Like I say, it's 1 till 4. We've got a low price cafe. We've got volunteers there talking about volunteering. There'll be activities to do and all sorts of stuff. So that's a good one. The other thing is on the 4th of June at the BPR CVS offices, we have got the DWP coming in who have a volunteer work placement scheme. So this is where the DWP have their clients or their customers, as I like to call them. And what they can do is they can provide you with a customer as a volunteer. They will cover all the expenses for that volunteer. So travelling expenses and associated costs. How it used to work, it used to be that the volunteer work placement was done over 2 weeks, 30 hours a week, usually in industry or retail or somewhere like that. They were finding it just wasn't working, so we had conversations around how can we make this work better and how can we get the third sector involved, the voluntary community faith and social enterprise sector involved. So what they've done now is they've agreed that it doesn't just have to be 2 blocks of 30-hour weeks. It could be 6 hours a week, which suits our sector better over a longer period of time. So there are a lot more flexibility around it. Really useful for small groups who might be struggling for volunteers simply because they can't cover expenses or anything like that. So there is sign up that you have to do with the DWP, which is why we've put this event on. I will send out, or if I can, later during this meeting, I'll see if I can't attach a link to where you go to sign up. I'll just beaver away. Being first on means I can do that. But I will also send the flyer out if we can get that spread before next week. Would that be all right, Tracy? It will be, it's a really good thing to sign up to. If you want more information, please email me and I will get back to you on that. We also have a vision for volunteering for Lancashire. So this is something that has been sorely missing from Lancashire for a long time. So we now nearly have, just waiting on a couple of bits coming in, for the vision for volunteering for Lancashire to be produced. We're launching it in Volunteers Week. So we're hoping it'll be launched at the volunteer fair on the 3rd. It's a document to be used for you to use as a bit of a guide, for you to see how good volunteering should look and to give you ideas, and also to see the sorts of things that we're committing to do as LACVS over the next year or so. So please look out for that. There will be a version that we'll be putting online as well on the Wednesday for you to look at. But if you want physical copies, I'll be around and about with my new banner, putting them out there. So please do give it a read. It's got some amazing case studies in, and it's got case studies in from Burnley, from Pendle, from Rosendale and Morecambe, all over the show. But around here does really show prominently what good volunteering looks like. The final thing is, I've been working with the King's Trust. They're struggling a little bit. They have their team group of young people who need spaces to do volunteering in. So what they do as a group, apologies if it's a little loud in the background, everyone's just started talking in the office. What they do is they go out and they will paint the walls in your community centre, or they will help put a kitchen in, or they will do your gardening. They did all the gardening up at Gano and did a great job there. but they're looking for places and organisations who really do want to engage with them. They've just really struggled over the past 12 months. So if anybody has a space, they want it doing up, the only cost to you is for you to put some refreshments on the last day and buy some biscuits or a bit of cake just to say thank you. They will supply everything else. If you need paint, they will bring the paint and the brushes and the dust sheets. If you need some gardening doing, they will bring everything. Yes, it is for Burnley. It's actually across Lancashire they're looking. So anywhere across Lancashire, they are desperate. So I think I just saw my email address ping up into the thing. Please just email me and I'll get you in touch with your local person who you need to speak to around that. But like I say, it's a little call out for him. Mandy, you've got your hand up, lovely.
Yeah, it's interesting that because we spoke at King's Trust for a few different projects that we've got across Pendle, and they've said that obviously they've chosen other projects. So I don't really know where that land lies with that, if I'm honest, because we have plenty of projects, as you know, as New Ground with a great outdoors team. We've got painting to do on sites. We've literally got lots of things to do. So maybe me and you could have a chat after, outside of this, just to see what they're sort of looking for and see if we can support with that.
I think what might have happened there is because I've done quite a bit of work around Pendle on this already. It might be 3 or 4 people have got in touch with them and they let the young people decide which ones they want to do.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, we've already had a project recently in Barrowford that they've just completed, and I went to their awards ceremony a couple of months ago. So I know they're obviously doing a new intake, aren't they, this time? So, but if Burnley are struggling as well, I could obviously speak to yourself or Kirsta to try and support them with that. Because last thing we want is for their projects to obviously, to have an impact, because we can't offer those spaces, because, as I said, we've got lots of things for New Ground.
Absolutely do. They've told me it's across Lancashire that they're struggling. So every area's been struggling.
I'll catch up with you after, outside this meeting, and then we can see if we can support them and help them.
Sounds really good, Mandy. Really
good. All right. Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you, love. Thank you. And that's me, keeping it to time, keeping it short and sweet for once.
Thank you, Lisa.
Okay.
Has anybody got any questions for Lisa? Just before no, everybody's asked what they wanted to ask. Thank you very much. Thanks, Lisa. Exciting stuff happening. DWP stuff's great. I think that's brilliant for small groups when they're going to pay for the expenses and any equipment that they need. That's great. So next on the agenda is Paul Watterson. He's new to us, so be gentle with him, gang.
Morning. Thank you for this. Introduce myself. I'm Paul Watson. I'm a police officer in Lancashire Police. I cover East Division. I actually run a team called Integrated Offender Management. And the reason why I've come onto this meeting really was with a view to try and identify agencies that can maybe support what we do. I cover the whole of East, separated by different areas. I'm going to say I do find Burnley, Pendle, Rosendale at this moment. I'm lacking in understanding of what services are out there that may be able to support us in what we do. I did do a presentation and not realising it was on YouTube, so I probably, because some of the information on it, I'm not going to be able to put the presentation up. But I'll basically explain to what we are and how we work. I don't know if anybody ever heard of Revolution, which was something used historically. Due to various different changes, it got amalgamated with a different department. Anyway, it's come back basically on account of the government and the sentencing bill and the way things are changing. And so in brief, basically the plan is more people are going to be getting community-based sentences, less people are going to be going to prison, and therefore on that basis we need to manage that group of individuals in the community. So the way that offender management basically works is we are a partner agency working predominantly alongside probation, and we look at 3 different factors of what we look at. So basically we're looking at, first of all, the primary is change, trying to get the individual to change by identifying pathways to see what we can do to support them down a different route. We then look at control measures that are in place that maybe we need to use for the people who don't necessarily want to change. And then we look at disruption, which is predominantly what the police are more involved in. But I suppose one of the big questions is, certainly from the police perspective, is what do we offer? And I suppose the main issue around what we offer in the police is predominantly the ability to coordinate services. We can assist around risk management with people that may be looking to help us provide services to individuals. We can also open doors and we can get people to listen and hold certain authorities to account when they're not doing what they need to do in relation to offender management, because unfortunately a lot of the people we deal with do have significant pathway issues, and therefore we need to basically get everybody together to try and give them a bit of stability and hopefully get them on the right path. What I will say is, not everybody who we will bring onto the cohort wants to change. Some people choose to commit criminality. It's a lifestyle choice, and for me, that is where prison stands. That's where we need to be in order to protect the public, and that's really where we go from. However, there are a lot of people who have lots of challenges that if we can work on, we can kind of help influence that change and get them back onto the road to recovery, basically. But there are lots of issues, and sometimes people just choose to go to prison because actually it's security for them. It's regular meals, it's a roof over the head, and that's not how it should be. So there are a lot of principles. So really, when we look at people who come onto the cohort, we look at different segments. So basically, it gets split down into 7 different pathways. So the first pathway we look at is accommodation. Then we look at attitudes, thinking, and behaviour. There may be family or other significant issues within that family dynamic, substance misuse, education, trade and employment, finance, benefits and debt, and then mental and physical well-being. So we look at identifying the pathways as part of that offending cycle, and then to see what we can kind of introduce elements to. We work with a lot of the statutory authorities, such as the DWP, probation, NHS, etc. But one thing I have noticed massively is an issue around education, trade and employment. I very much work on the fact that idle hands is really difficult to kind of fill a day, and something that I'm looking to hopefully network, identify services that may be looking for support, and looking for organisations that could support us in providing that service. Some of them may well be on restrictions due to ailments, and therefore DWP have got them as being not suitable for work. That doesn't mean to say they're not suitable for volunteering, and some of them really want to get involved, but not knowing what's available and what's out there is a difficulty. It was once described to me by we work with quite a few experienced people, lived experience we described as, and saying that actually certainly substance misuse takes up a lot of your day, as in sourcing the drugs, taking the drugs, coming down from the drugs, and that is a gap we're trying to fill. So really that's where I'm looking for kind of the education training, and this is why I'm hoping to do a bit of networking. But clearly there are other pathways which people, certainly other support agencies, can certainly facilitate with. So I'll go into the main people we work with. I'll come to questions just at the end if that's okay. So other agencies we work with, predominantly it's probation. So it's police and probation led, I would suggest, and there's a reason behind that, and I'll explain. Because of the changes under the sentencing bill, we've had to go down a criteria for IOM, and therefore there are 3 basic elements of coming on to IOM. So the first factor is they've got to be subject to a statutory supervision order under probation. So that's either a prison licence or under some kind of community order. It could be a DTR, which is a drug treatment referral, or DRR, I should say. An ATR is an alcohol treatment referral, but there's lots of other orders that can be available, but they have to be subject to that, and they will only remain on IOM at the point that they're on that order. They also have to have an OGA score, which is above 60%. An OGA score is a score that an individual gets from probation based on their risk of reoffending. So that's an assessment they make. And the last aspect is called a crime severity score, which is 1500 in police, and that's basically a police score. So 1500 basically means within a 5-year period they need to score above 1500. There's a degree of professional discussion around that, depending on other criteria. But what I will say is the government have basically organised a scoring system for offences. So it's got to be 5 years within a 5 years within the community. So just a few examples. So in order to, so an ABH is an actual bodily harm assault, that scores 145. I know it sounds really quite ridiculous when you look at it, but we have to pull it together. And the whole system is the fact that we're trying to identify the most prolific or the most at risk of reoffending, and that's why these factors are kind of taken into account. And obviously the idea is we then obviously try and implement some change and obviously have some oversight in relation to that. As long as they fulfill that criteria, we will then accept them onto the cohort, and then we will look to manage that and bring services involved. We have weekly meetings or 2 weekly meetings in some cases, and then we discuss that again, multi-agencies with all different services. And this is, again, one aspect of where we're trying to identify other services that can assist us in parts of them pathways. So really, I suppose that is where we're at. Like I say, I would have gone through the slide, but like I say, there's some information on there that obviously would suggest that I can't. So unfortunately, I won't. But essentially, what I will say is, it's about, the main aim is, and we have this kind of, the philosophy is, I agree that custody isn't the answer for everything. I agree that custody is the right answer for some people because that's the only way we can keep people safe, and that's a choice that some people make. However, there are also lots of people who actually go to prison who actually that's not the best place for them. They're not getting the support. They're coming out possibly worse than when they went in, and therefore, like I say, I think community orders are something that we need to be looking at. So it's a case of just, if we keep doing the same thing over and over again, it's never going to get any better. We've got to look at different approaches, and I do think it's the right approach in certain circumstances. So essentially, that is what we're about. Like I say, fundamentally, we want people to change their lifestyle. We want them to get rid of or change some of the situations they're in, and hopefully then they won't be going back to the cycle of reoffending. And that is our main aim. But like I say, there is also that fact that some people just don't want to, and that's where we come involved. So that's my kind of input really. So Mandy.
Hi, thank you, Paul. Paul, I work for New Ground Together, but previously I've done 6 years in drugs and alcohol services and homelessness. So I did do some work on the Revolution programme, but my role is customer engagement as part of New Ground Together, which is part of Together Housing. There's lots of opportunities that we can link in with you to support that. For example, we do bike maintenance workshops. So some of the lads that are coming obviously out of prison can obviously learn a new skill, learn the bike maintenance, but it also gives them that active travel as well. So once they've obviously done the bikes, I work with a lot of agencies across Burnley, Pendle and Rossendale. So if you can email me your information, there's absolutely lots of things, because we've also got premises and buildings that you could potentially use for some of the, some of your works where you do like your 2 weekly meetings and things like that. We could potentially link into some of that and obviously offer that space for you as well, for them to come in and to do some of the group work. So as I said, if you can just pop your email in, I'll contact you outside this meeting, and then we can just have a discussion about what we can support you with, and obviously support these offenders.
Brill. I shall stick my my email in the address.
Thank you. And as I said, I'll contact you outside.
Yeah, no, that'd be brilliant, and that sounds ideal. Like I say, certainly getting activities is definitely what we're looking for, because statutory stuff we've got covered, but certainly filling the day is where we really struggle, so that would be great. You
see, we've got a lot of teams as well. We've got the employment team and engagement team. I do a lot of work with DWP as well, so there's a lot of links there that obviously we can help bridge that gap. You like that, Tracy, won't you? Bridges the gap.
Love it, Manda. Doing that bridging thing, That's a private joke.
Yeah.
Anybody
Brill.
who's seen any of my presentations will know that I do like bridges.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Manda.
You're
Anthony.
welcome.
Brill, thank you. Anthony?
Hi, my name's Anthony. I work for Christians Against Poverty. When you say somebody's accepted onto a cohort, what does a cohort look like? Is it a set 5-week program, 6-week program? What?
Yeah, so essentially, the person is on the cohort for as long as they need to be. So whether that is because they are at the end of their statutory supervision, so as soon as that comes, unfortunately, they go off anyway. Albeit there are times when people will be deselected because actually they're engaged with all the services they need to do. They're doing really well. They've opened doors, and like I say, they've moved on. So that can be what they're on for. They can also be deselected because they are literally not engaging at all, and then it comes down really for us to be involved in more disruption because they're just not interested in change. So a lot of it will depend. They're not on for a particularly set period of time. A lot of it is essentially based on that. I should have gone into the cohort. Sorry, yeah, that was part of the slide actually, but I forgot about it. So there's 2 cohorts that we cover. So we have something called the fixed cohort. The fixed cohort is essentially any offenders that come within a neighbourhood crime. Neighbourhood crime would basically be burglary, street robbery, theft from vehicles, that kind of thing. There was a point when we picked up quite prolific shoplifters, but as I've just mentioned then, obviously with regards to the scoring, shoplifting I think scored about 13 points. So you've got to do a lot of shoplifting before they get involved in that. So and they would tend to be more chaotic. So we've moved away from that. So predominantly we are talking quite serious offending and things that have a massive impact in the community, such as dwelling burglaries and robberies, etc. But then we also have a free cohort, and the free cohort is decided nationally amongst their own areas. So Lancashire Constabulary picked DA offenders, so domestic abuse offenders, and also a category of offenders between 18 and 25. So that's essentially 2 groups. We have a fixed cohort and a free cohort, and essentially covers 3 different types of offending.
And then just one more question. I've tried contacting probation before to try and get people who are on probation involved in our courses. So we run life skills courses. I run a job club as well, which is getting people back into employment. And then obviously a lot of people who are committing crime will be committing crime because they're in debt, which we can also help them with. I've never had any luck of managing to get to talk to anyone from probation. So I don't know if it's worth me emailing you afterwards and then us all working together or.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I say, we if anything, we kind of like probably speak to probation on a daily basis. We have a really close working relationship with them. So yeah, we can certainly share that. And like I say, just that's fine. We can certainly get your details known. Sorry, Anthony, what area do you work then? Do you cover the whole?
So our office covers Burnley, Nelson, and Cole.
Right. Okay. Cool. Right, no worries. Again, obviously you got my email. If you just want to drop me an email, and then like I say, I can link you in. There is a senior probation officer who we link in very closely, who works on the IOM. So again, I can certainly get that details through to you. And I think a big thing, part of it is for me is once we get people involved, it's quite easy to then kind of get more people involved. It's kind of breaking that initial lock, really. But yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul, I think you and I should have a conversation outside of this meeting as well, because we have a social prescribing program that could really help some of the offenders. So yeah, we can have that conversation outside here as well.
That'd be great. Yeah, no, thank you.
Fab. So thank you. Anybody else got any questions or anything they'd like to say to Paul before I move on? No. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Paul. Lucretia, what a fabulous name.
Thanks very much. Hello, thanks for having me at the meeting. Would it be okay if I shared a little presentation?
Yeah.
Could you see my screen?
We can, yeah.
Okay. Thanks for having me today. I just wanted to talk about my PhD project real quick. So I'm working at the University of Lancashire as a PhD student, and my goal is to improve safeguarding responses to child exploitation. So the PhD goal overall is to get a better understanding of child exploitation as a whole. So I'm focusing on child criminal and sexual exploitation and how they overlap. And the final goal of the PhD is to develop a tool that would help professionals and services to identify vulnerability in victims, in potential victims, in vulnerable children in general, and also to support effective safeguarding responses for the services. So how am I going to do this? The idea is to follow these steps. So the first step for me was to do a systematic review, see what is out there in the literature as of now. So we know there's a lot of literature on sexual exploitation, but not that much on criminal exploitation. And yeah, I think a lot of young people who offend often are seen as just rebellious and difficult. They're often seen as like little gangsters, gang involvement, and being involved with drugs and that kind of thing. But more recently, it's been seen as they're being exploited usually by older individuals, and it's just important to see them as victims as well, to be able to prevent any exploitation from happening. So the first step was to review literature, and that has been done. My next step is to gather professional perspectives. So this is what the research says about exploitation. What do professionals say? What do people that are actually working with vulnerable children say about exploitation as a whole, but also about what is important for effective safeguarding of these children. And next, I'm going to do some field studies, collaborating with CAMS, and then I'm going to develop the tool and then refine and validate the tool. So the current stage that I'm at is a Delphi study. So why a Delphi study? A Delphi study is a study that aims to gather professional expertise and experience through questionnaires. So usually it's different rounds. The first round of the questionnaire is just open questions, and professionals of different areas can give their own give their own opinion and their own experience, share their own experience. And then the goal there's going to be different rounds, and the goal in the further rounds is to identify areas of agreement or disagreement. So see where professionals are in agreement with how they should behave, and where they disagree and why they might disagree. Maybe they come from different areas. Maybe some of them are police officers and others are mental health workers or youth workers. And the idea is to develop an evidence-informed understanding of exploitation and safeguarding. So participation, as I said, involves 3 to 4 rounds of questionnaires. The first one is open-ended, so it takes a bit longer, but the later rounds are just going to be rating and refining statements. So how much do you agree with this statement or that statement? And so I'm super happy to be able to share this here in this group. I'm looking for people who have at least 6 months of experience working with vulnerable children and young people. And that includes anything youth work, safeguarding, social care, even mental health and policing. And it would be great, even if you can't participate yourself, if you could help me out sharing the project and the study with colleagues in the networks, so that I'm able to gain as many professional opinions as possible. Because I believe the more opinions I have, the more accurate of a picture I can get. Just basically, it would be great to have your help in helping services in the future to prevent child exploitation. So thank you. That's my presentation.
Thank you, Lucretia. We can certainly spread the word. We're very good at that. We're very good at getting the messages out there. Is there anybody that's got any questions for Lucretia or any offers of assistance? I don't think we've got many that on here today that deal with children exclusively, but we do have members. Our membership list is 120 plus, so we do have members that do deal with children and young people. I know certainly within our organisation we have a team that deal with children and young people, and I'm sure they'd be happy to participate. So I'll contact you outside the meeting, Lucretia, and give you some
That'd
contact
be really
details.
lovely.
And if you
Thanks
can
so
send if you want to send the poster or any information to me, we can get that out there. Just so you know, I was going to say this earlier. There are other networking opportunities like this one. There's one for Pendle, which is People of Pendle, and one for Rosendale Connected. I chair the People of Pendle one, so email me if you'd like to come on there, or anybody would like to come on there and speak if your organisation covers Pendle. And Rosendale Connected, if you email me, I'll give you contact details for Rosendale Connected, and you can go on there, and I'm sure that they'd allow you to go and talk about whatever you want to talk about. That's for everybody. But Lucretia, if you want to spread the word across Burnley, Pendle and Rosendale, please do. I'll give you contact details.
Thanks so much.
Fab, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Lucretia, Paul and Lisa for speaking today. I'm just going to move quickly on. Reading crisis. I know that's you know, it doesn't tell you very much, doesn't that? But let me just find my notes. So I'm just going to ask, I just want nods or shakes of the heads. So are you reading at the moment? Are you reading for pleasure? Anything? Yeah, there's some nods, there's some no's, there's some nods. Yeah, okay. Jodie's putting her hand up. That I'm assuming that means yes. So are you reading for pleasure? Is this for pleasure or is this work related? I'm not talking about work related. That's really boring stuff. I have to read every day for work and it's really boring. I'm reading Barbara Streisand's autobiography at the moment. She's really old and it's massive. It's about that thick. It's taking me weeks to get through it. But literacy changes everything. It opens the doors to the life you want. You know, we've got Paul talking about offender management. We had Lucretia talking about children. If you grow up without the tools to communicate, without books to read or opportunities to write, it's harder to get where you want to go. Only 1 in 3 of children and young people aged 8 to 18 say they enjoy reading in their free time. And only 1 in 5 say they read something daily in their free time. These statistics are at the lowest levels in 20 years. Reading for pleasure is important to encourage reading frequency, which in turn is more likely to foster and improve a child's reading skills. This is vital at a time where children and young people's reading skills are a cause for concern. In this year, National Year of Literacy, I have become a lead literacy champion, and it means I'll be encouraging people to read for pleasure. And I'm an avid reader and have been from a really young age, and I know what the benefits of reading are, from broadening vocabulary to lighting the creative imagination. Reading is a life skill none of us should take for granted. If you can encourage your workplace, friends, family, community group to take 10 minutes to read something for pleasure once a week, if children and young people see the significant adults in their lives reading with pleasure, if we can read with our children, we can change those statistics and raise children and young people who have a vital life skill which sets them up for the future. If you'd like to know more, please do email me. I'll put my email address in the chat. But if you want to know more about that, I'll be doing this each meeting. So Burnley Linked, People of Pendle. I'm going to ask, you know, if you're reading for pleasure, and then I might go around if we've got time to ask what books you're reading. What we're going to do, I'm going to do some various things. It's nothing hard. During Volunteers Week, we're going to have a bit of a book swap going on at our Ghana Community Centre. We've got a little library there. So if any of your beneficiaries, clients, customers would like to go up and have a look at the little library there, they are more than welcome to. But if you want to know any more, please do give me a shout. So that's that. So I'm going to go around my screen. Those of you that's already spoken, I won't pick on because I'm assuming that you said all you need to say. But if you need to say more, please do wave at me or shout at me. So we usually do emerging themes and any updates and information sharing at this point. So I'm going to go around my screen. So if you just say who you are and where you're from for the benefit of those that are new, and we hopefully will get through everybody, and I'll just do a massive quick speeder because I can talk really fast update on CVS activity at the end. So I've got Anthony, you're first on my screen. Have you got anything you want to update on? If you don't, that's fine.
Hi, Mark on now. Yeah. My name's Anthony. I work for Christians Against Poverty. The only day I think we've got coming up at the moment is the 8th of June, which is a Monday. There's a new 6-week job club starting in Burnley. So if anybody's got anybody that's trying to get an employment or needs extra support with that, they can contact me and I can book them onto that. Debt centre wise, I think we're the busiest we have been. Earlier this year, we took on a third member of staff, which we thought would then bring us waiting list down. It's not brought us waiting list down. They're still what they are. We're now booking clients into first appointments in August, which we try and see all them clients before the booking date. But that's kind of what we're looking at. Is we've got the problem's not going away, it's getting worse, and the more people we see have got more and more complex needs. Nearly every client we now see is taking us twice as long just because of the complex needs that they've got as well. So I think that's it from an update from me, real. Thank you.
Are they, Anthony, is there any themes that flow through? You know, you said that they've got complex needs. Are there any needs, you know, that are showing up more than any others? Do you think?
I don't think so. I mean, one for me at the moment, and I have called a meeting at the moment, I've got 3 or 4 clients, and this is new to me. I've got 3 or 4 clients at the moment that are all looking at having like an appointmentship or power of attorney on them where somebody's in their control of the finances, which to have 4, I've never had it before in 2.5 years, and I've now got 4 clients all at the same time that and it all seems to be like social services involvement, etc. So there's multi-agency meetings about them, which obviously takes more time, etc. But it also, as soon as power of attorney and appointment comes in, appointmentship, it then also limits the choices that we have on what route of debt we can go as well. So it just makes it a little bit more complicated. And the biggest one for me, and it's something that I've called a meeting to try and get changed, is, for example, if somebody's identified as a vulnerable person, they've got debt, we help them get out of debt with insolvency, so a bankruptcy or a debt relief order. They're then not allowed to have anybody have power of attorney over them for 12-month period, which then means we've then got to leave that person in charge of their own finances for 12 months, which then just seems silly. So it's whether there's a change in the law, which I know I'm now but it's whether as an organisation we can try and make something or make a change where these vulnerable people aren't left vulnerable for a period of 12 months.
Anthony, if you can send me more details of that, I can feed that up into our networks, like the health and wellbeing partnerships and things like that, that might hold some weight as well. So if you just send me a paragraph or 2 on what needs changing, and we'll try that. Jordan.
It was just to say that obviously we support with things like meetings for appointeeships. So it was just to give you just a heads up if you're not aware of us. That's Advocacy Focus. We've got a community project that's running across East Lancashire, and we've got a hub that's in the centre of Burnley. So we have got a lot of your team who do just drop into the hub days. So we have open days Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 10 till 2. So you're more than welcome to bring your clients down, get a little bit of support from us directly on a drop in. And if obviously they need more long-term support, then we can refer them into service and co-work with you. So it's just to put you yeah, let you know
Yeah.
about us. That's all.
Brilliant. Thank you.
No worries.
Thanks, Jordan. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you.
Are you done? Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Mandy, you're next on my screen.
Sorry, I were on mute then. For those that don't know, I'm Mandy Morgan. I'm the Community Development Officer for the Great Outdoors team, which is part of Together Housing. Now then, we have projects across Burnley, Pendle and Rosendale. Outdoor projects our team run. We do guided walks, we do walking groups, we do gardening projects, we do bike maintenance and bike workshops. We do a full inclusive day, working with British Cycling, walking groups with Burnley Culture, and we've got projects for home education children and parents bringing home eds. So we've got projects across in Stubby Park in Bacup, and we've also just launched a new project called Nature Well, which looks at the 5 ways to well-being. That's a full day session where groups can come. So we ask for a cohort of people, between 8 and 12 people come. But I know some people have brought staff members. So we've been getting involved, and that's based through Shine Coaching. That's just a really, really quick update, because obviously some people already know me, some don't. If you want to know more, just get in touch, because I can talk forever.
You and me both, Manda.
Thank you.
Thanks, Manda. Paula, have you got anything you'd like to update on? If you don't, you can just say, no, I've nothing.
Yeah, I'm Paul Ralph. I'm new to New Era in Burnley. So I'm part of the Community and Families team. So one of the new projects that we're looking at is the Crisis Resilience Fund, and we're going to be delivering packages of support around money matters and basic digital skills. So we want to do that out in the community, and here at New Era. We'll be linking with Downtown in Burnley and any other organisations. But just to give you a bit of an overview, so the money matters, we're looking at, as I said, the very, very basic, looking at budgeting, essentials versus non-essentials, benefits and entitlements, obviously very low level, we're not any experts, childcare, uniform fees, things that come in with your childcare costs, feeding the family on a budget. That type of thing. So we've pulled together a 4-week programme, but because it's very early days, we're just looking to deliver it as drop-ins. We will be at Downtown every Wednesday between 10 and 12, just trying to capture people that are there, and we're going to do the same from the base here at Burnley on a Friday, 10 till 12, if people want to drop in. And then with the digital skills, it's things like getting started with your devices, internet connectivity, emails, messaging apps, staying safe online and things. So there will be more information coming out. As I say, it's very, very early days, and once we've got leaflets and flyers, I'll obviously share them with Tracy and whoever to get them out there. So I'm 3 weeks into a new role, so it is all very, very new for me. So I'm just trying to get out to as many places as possible. So any meetings, anything that you think would be useful for me to attend, please feel free. I'll pop my email in the chat for you. But New Era, I'm sure most of you know, work with children and young people and adults. So we'll link in with various things. But as I say, at the minute, it's very much me trying to get myself out and about, new to community working in Burnley. So hopefully you'll see my face a little bit more often, and I might be a little bit more confident about what I'm talking about the next time I speak to some of you. But I will put my email in the chat. Thanks, Tracy.
You sound fab. We miss you. Paula used to be one of our wonderful volunteers, and we're so proud of her. So she's gone on to work with New Era. Fab. It's lovely to see you looking so well, and you do sound confident, even if you might not feel it. You sound it.
Oh, it's a brave face. I'm good at doing a brave face.
Thank you. Thank you, Paula. Paul, you're next on my screen.
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. Yep, so my name's Paul. I manage our debt, energy at Macmillan team. Just to give you an overview for Burnley residents, we've got daily drop-in sessions Monday to Thursday. But for Burnley, we're based in Calico. So on Tuesdays, we have our debt drop-in session. On Wednesdays, we're based at Downtown, 9 till 12 for a debt drop-in session. Monday and Thursdays, we're open 9 till 12 at Calico for our generous advice sessions. So we don't have any appointments. Clients could just walk in. They might have to wait up to half an hour. They will get to see a debt advisor on them 2 debt days. So don't have any kind of waiting list. We did have a large waiting list up until December last year. We've now changed our kind of debt model where we're now kind of drop-in based, whereas before it was kind of appointment based and clients having to wait up to 2 to 3 weeks. So it's now predominantly drop-in based. So clients can just walk in and they get to see one of our advisors. And we cover everything in respect of debt advice, whether it's income maximisation, budgeting, debt relief orders, bankruptcies, bailiffs, whatever it might be, debt related, we cover. We are seeing a slight increase in possession claims with mortgage arrears, so that does seem to be on the increase, so one to look out for.
Thanks for that, Paul. I'm feeling a collaboration coming on here with Citizens Advice, Christians Against Poverty, and Advocacy Focus. It might be as well having a conversation outside this meeting just to see how you could work together, because Christians Against Poverty, you know, they've got massive waiting lists. Citizens Advice, I'm not saying that you haven't got waiting lists, but it could be well to all work together, and there might be some work that Jodie's gang at Advocacy Focus could kind of help out with and co-support with. So
I do work.
I'll leave that with you.
Yeah, I do work closely with Katie at CAP for the Burnley region. So we do work quite closely together with appointments, because they do a lot of home-based appointments, which serves quite a few of our clients.
Thank you very much, Paul. Can I just ask? I don't want to delay anything. But can I just ask, the mortgage arrears and the debt? Is it the cost of living crisis, or is that adding to it, and the energy prices, is it all adding to it, or have you seen a massive increase?
Yeah, I think it is a mixture of, you know, the cost of living and the interest rates that have gone up, where people have now come out of their fixed products, and their mortgage payments have increased by, you know, £200 per month.
Yeah.
So it's a number of things, but mainly the cost of living.
Thank you for that. Like I say, I can feed this information up. I'm not saying, you know, I can wave my magic wand, but at least I can get people to listen. Thank you, Paul. Esther.
Hello, this is my first time on this meeting, so I'm the programme manager for Roots and Horizons, which is a Heritage Fund programme that's being run from Building Bridges Burnley. So we are in our year 1 of a 3-year programme, and year 1 is looking at the heritage of Building Bridges itself, and I'm sure many people have come across Building Bridges on this meeting and beyond, but it was originated in just after the riots in 2001, which is obviously coming round to the 25th anniversary, and there's been a few different pieces coming out about that. And obviously some of that groundwork is here again, and so there's some interesting things to pick up about how things were addressed and conversations that were needed to be had between people of different thought processes, and how to bring people together and ensure conversation happens. So we're doing some of that, but also we're really interested in whether people have memories of that time of Building Bridges coming about as an organisation, or if people have engaged with Building Bridges events or workshops over the years. We'd love to hear from you, any memories that you have of the organisation right up to really recent times. So that's year 1, but Building Bridges are also in the process of taking over a building, which is Canal Side at Bank Hall, and on Lindsay Street, which is just on the straight mile of the canal. It's a really wonderful spot. The building needs quite a lot of work at the moment, so we're getting on with that. But towards the end of this year, the hope is we'll have a venue and a building to be able to perhaps host some of the groups here that might want to deliver services in that community, or certainly we'll have an awful lot of volunteer need at that point to welcome people in and help with I mean, like the conversation about decorating, the conversations about just running services and keeping the building active and open. There's a community garden there as well, so there'll be some aspects of that kind of activity as well. And the whole programme goes on right through to 2020 9. So we're hopefully we'll be more visible for a little bit now, and we'll be in touch with somebody. Thank you, Lisa. We'll pick up that email and get in touch.
Fab, thank you, Esther. If you've got anything, and this goes for everybody, if you've got anything that we want to get out there, we can put it on our webpage for Burnley Linked, and we can also send it out in our info share, which goes across the world, I'm sure.
We're doing the call out next week. We've got quite a big call out going on for oral histories information, so we'll share that round, and if any of the organisations here can also share that on socials and so on, that would be massively appreciated. Thank you.
That's the beauty of Burnley Linked. It goes out like ripples in a pond. So thank you for that, Esther. Thank you very much. Naveed, darling, you're the next on my screen.
Morning, everyone. Naveed Ahmed, Burnley Borough Council Community Engagement Officer. Very briefly, just to let you know, elections have happened, so we've got new councillors. All details for councillors are available on our council website. So if you live in Burnley, you need to get in touch with any of them. All the details are there. We've got a new mayor, so if you've got any events or anything that that's happening in the coming year that you'd like a civic representation of the mayor, people love seeing the mayor in the chains, or we've got the town hall, come and meet the mayor at the town hall. Please do get in touch. You can book the mayor online, but if not, you can get in touch with me and I can put you in the right direction. Other than that, we're just working on local government reorganisation, getting prepped for a summer, which we hope is not going to be full of pension and stuff. So yeah, but Tracy, just to mention, I don't know if it's been circulated, my myths and misinformation and disinformation leaflet. Hopefully it'll have gone out to all the partners for people to share and make people aware.
Yeah, it's on the Burnley Linked webpage. It's also gone out on our info share, and we can send it out again, Naveed, if you like.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no worries. No worries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Naveed. Jessica.
Hello, sorry, I was just mid-typing an email then. I was like, I knew this would happen. I'm not on camera because I've got my dressing gown on. So I was like, I don't think everyone looks lovely. So I was like, maybe this is probably not the best representation of me. I'm Jess. I have a few hats. I work for the Ellie Centre, the East Lancashire Learning and Information Exchange in Burnley campus. It's the old Thomas Whittam sixth form. It used to be called the Burnley and Pendle Faith Centre. I know a few of you, so I know you'll know me. We work with families, predominantly new to area, new to country, but we do work with anybody around help with education. So things like helping the children get into school, appeals, school transport, free school meal access, that sort of thing. We also run ESOL classes, which is English for speakers of other languages, at our centre for anyone over 18. So if you do come across any families that need help with their English, please direct them to us. We've got loads of different levels of English on our centre. And we also will be running a half programme this summer from Burnley campus as part of my Building Bridges hat. So if you do have any families that are local to that area that you know are half eligible, please do send them to my office. I can take the details and I'll make sure that I contact them when our applications come out. We're always interested in getting new families on board. And we do a lot of things basically at the centre. So if you ever need anything, just send me an email and I'll let you know if it's something we can help with. And then in terms of Building Bridges, I run the school project there. So putting the faith friends into schools to teach more about different religions and things like that. And obviously work closely with Esther. I have sent an email to Lisa already about Canal Side, because it would be interesting once we've got that building a bit more stable in terms of the building side to maybe get somebody in to help with the decorating or the gardening and things. I've copied you in, Esther. And I think that's everything from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. Glad you're comfortable enough to be in your dressing gown. That's what I see it as. Thank you very much. And thank you for being so honest as well. Fabulous, thank you. And last but not least, the wonderful Jodie Roberts, who also has a camera off, so I'm assuming she's got her curlers in.
No curlers, I'm afraid. No. It's just because of the fact that it's half term and my child's coming in and out, and I just didn't want that whole thing of, oh, Mum, can I have a sandwich or whatever in the middle of it. So I thought I'll just keep my camera off. So I'm Jodie Roberts. I work for a charity called Advocacy Focus. I manage a project called Community Focus. As part of that, we have a hub that's down in the centre of Burnley. We support with, wow, anything. It feels like anything. No, we support with benefits in housing, employment, debt. We support with attendance at meetings, appointments. We attend with things like EHCPs, appeals. We support with, it's just wide and vast. It's whatever a person feels like they need support with, where they feel like they're not being listened to, or they feel like they don't understand the processes. So we support with quite wide and vast. I went to the People of Pendle meeting recently, didn't I? And the same, I would say, is occurring across in Burnley. We're getting a lot of people coming through for WCA 50s, for the work capability. Sorry, I shouldn't do that, should I? Use acronyms, because it's terribly ignorant. Work capability assessments, we get a lot of those. We're getting a lot of people come through with short deadlines on PIP, and wanting to do mandatory reconsiderations for PIP. So the same's occurring in Burnley as it is in Pendle. We've had a little bit of an increase in support around childcare proceedings as well. That's it, really. Yeah, we're just busy as always. And we do, and I should say too, especially because Anthony said earlier on, or was it Paul, one of us, we support people directly out in the community. So we can visit and support people in their own homes. We can support people wherever they're most comfortable, whether that's the local library. So yeah, that's us. Yeah, give us a shout if you need anything. I'll pop my email in the chat.
Fab. Thank you,
Thanks,
Jodie.
Tracy, love. Thank you.
Thank you. So last but not least, I'll just give the highlights, because CVS supports everyone and anyone. We never turn anyone away, and we'll try and find some support for you if we can. Our Eric Wright Charitable Foundation Large Grants pot is open. See our website. The ICB Social Prescribing Small Groups funding is also open. Please see our website. We've got a new member of the group and volunteer support team, Rebecca Nolan, who has joined us to support groups. Rebecca's specialism is training. However, she's more than happy to have a chat with you about your group's needs. So please do contact Rebecca. This will go on to the Burnley Linked webpage. We've got training and workshop for groups and individual volunteers. So please do get in touch. Coffee, cake and collaboration, cake being the operative word, and the most important, are sessions that are held monthly for volunteer involving groups and individual volunteers to get together for coffee and cake and to have a chat. And the most recent session was held at the Chai Centre, and there was some interesting conversations about self-care and maintaining our own well-being, even though we're massively busy, and we need to take care of ourselves. So if you'd like to get involved, offer a venue, or just want to know more, please contact the hub. Helping Hands Lottery, I've put the details in the chat. Cancer Awareness Champions, cancer touches all of our lives. And at some point or other, and in some way or other, it's been evidenced that people will get checked out if someone they know talks to them about cancer, and early detection is proving to be a lifesaver. In my case, it was a lifesaver. I was diagnosed with breast cancer almost 3 years ago now, and I caught it really early. Because I just noticed a change. So I had the op, I'm still having treatment, I had radiotherapy, and I'm alive to tell the tale. So happy days. That early detection is really important. So if you want more information on how to become a cancer awareness champion, and all it is doing what I've just done. Just encouraging people to check themselves, notice things. That's all. There's nothing else involved. So please do get in touch with our hub. We've got a new tool called Get Volunteering, which you can look on there. If you're a potential volunteer and you want to volunteer, you can look on there for the opportunities. If you're a group or organisation, you can put your opportunities on there and get in touch with the hub. I've talked about reading crisis. We're working hard to bring funding into Burnley and have several irons in the fire, including a national lottery project and a project involving social prescribing, which will bring in funding for Burnley groups. Without funding, our small groups wouldn't operate and support our community in the fabulous way that they do. Without CVS, funding would not be brought into Burnley in this way, and groups would not be supported. Volunteers would not have the opportunities for training, etc., and various services would not be delivered. Support your local CVS, that's us, and become a member. Sign up for our newsletter, sign up as a volunteer, or sign up for the Helping Hands Lottery and help Burnley groups to raise some funds. If you or your organisation would like to know more about CVS, if you want me to come along and present, I'm happy to do it in person, online, however it's semaphore, however you want me to do it. I'm very happy to come and talk about CVS services. But please do take a look at the CVS Work in Burnley report, which is quite eye-opening. You might be surprised at how much we do. We brought over £1 million into Burnley over the last 10 years or so. And that's gone out. It's not been us, it's gone out to small groups all over Burnley. So please do take a look at that, and that'll be on Burnley Linked webpage this week sometime. So thank you very much. I think we are just on time, maybe a little bit over. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you to all our speakers. Thank you to everybody for being so engaged and so engaging. And next month we are online, but the month after we are face to face. So if you have a venue that we can use for free, because we don't get funded for this, as you know, please do let me know, give me a shout, and I'll arrange for us to be up there, to be wherever you are. So thank you very much. I'm babbling now, so I need to go. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in a month's time. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye.